Let's start with a situation many researchers and engineers face. You've developed a new material, and everything looks promising. But then comes the big question: how stable is it under heat? That's where TGA testing becomes essential. But right after that, two practical questions always follow. How much will it cost, and how long will it take? In this video, we'll break down exactly what you should expect when getting TGA testing done in the United States, based on real-world scenarios. Before we dive into cost and time, let's quickly understand what TGA actually does. Thermogravimetric Analysis, or TGA, measures how a material's weight changes as it is heated. This helps us identify things like when a material starts decomposing, how much moisture or solvent it contains, and how stable it is at higher temperatures. That's why TGA is widely used across industries like pharmaceuticals, polymers, and even aerospace, where thermal performance is critical. Now here's something important. TGA testing isn't a one-size-fits-all service. Think of it like ordering coffee. A standard run is like a simple black coffee, quick, straightforward, and affordable. But a custom analysis, that's more like a caramel latte with extra foam. It takes more time, more effort, and naturally costs more. The same idea applies here. The complexity of your testing requirements directly affects both cost and turnaround time. Let's talk numbers. In the United States, TGA testing typically falls in the range of $100 to $500 per sample. Basic runs can start at around $100, especially if it's a simple, single test. But as soon as you add complexity, like advanced analysis, multiple test conditions, or hazardous materials, the cost can easily go beyond $500. So it's not just about the test. It's about how detailed and customized your request is. Let's talk numbers. In the United States, TGA testing typically falls in the range of $100 to $500 per sample. Basic runs can start at around $100, especially if it's a simple, single test. But as soon as you add complexity, like advanced analysis, multiple test conditions, or hazardous materials, the cost can easily go beyond $500. So it's not just about the test. It's about how detailed and customized your request is. Now let's look at how long it usually takes. For very simple screening tests, results can be ready in just 1 to 2 days. For most standard research and development work, the typical turnaround time is around 3 to 5 days. And if you're dealing with complex testing, like multiple runs or detailed modeling, it can take 5 to 7 days or even longer. So again, the timeline depends heavily on how complex your testing requirements are. Even with clear timelines, delays can happen, and it's important to know why. One common reason is lab backlog, especially during busy periods. Another is missing information. If sample details aren't complete, testing can't proceed smoothly. Instrument maintenance or calibration can also cause delays. And finally, safety considerations, especially when handling hazardous materials, can slow things down. Small issues can quickly turn into extra days of waiting. The good news is, you can control a lot of this. If you want to save both time and money, start by clearly defining your testing objectives. Make sure you provide complete and accurate sample details. Avoid requesting unnecessary variations in testing. Only ask for the level of analysis you actually need. And most importantly, plan ahead so you don't have to pay rush fees. These simple steps can make a huge difference. Let's look at a real-world example. A biotech startup initially requested a complex TGA study with multiple gases and test conditions. The quote they received was $450, with a turnaround time of 6 days. But after refining their goal to a single nitrogen-based test, everything changed. The cost dropped to $180, and the results were delivered in just 2 days. That's over 60% savings, just by being more precise about what they actually needed. So here's the final takeaway. For TGA testing in the US, you can generally expect costs between $100 and $500 and turnaround times between 2 to 7 days. But the real deciding factor is clarity. The more clearly you define your testing needs, the more you can save in both time and money. And that's what separates an efficient project from an expensive one.